behind you, Paul.
Hey, and welcome to another Battlefront update. A week ago I put a video demonstrating my disappointment and concern for the arcade mode in Star Wars Battlefront 2. There were those of you who full-heartedly agreed with me, and also those who just simply didn't get it, and that's fine. If you have good internet, an online subscription if you're on console, and never have friends come over for couch co-op, then yeah, I'd say you really don't have a reason to care about arcade mode at all. But for all those people who aren't in the same position as you, then of course it's a different story. Now I'm not going to go into explaining again why I think arcade mode is a disappointment or anything like that. If you want to see what my thoughts and opinion on that matter is, I highly recommend you check out my video I made all about that, as I laid out my concerns pretty well over there, and we don't really need two videos about me talking about the same thing again, now do we? Nope, and this is why this video is a simple follow-up to the last one, as I know many of the negative comments from that video were people complaining that I was complaining about a mode for a game that hadn't even come out yet, and that I was judging the whole mode based on the beta. Yeah, valid arguments. But at the same time, I never seen any evidence saying otherwise that had solid proof that arcade mode on launch day would have more content than what is in the beta. And neither have they, so that's just assumptions made up by the people defending the arcade mode. A little hypocritical, don't you think? Anyways, with the beta release recently, known hacker Uninspired Zebra was able to gain access to the game files and actually crack the arcade mode, allowing us to see what is revealed inside. Suffice to say, it isn't all that much. First of all, in arcade there will be about two modes available to play, Team Battle and Onslaught. Team Battle is pretty much a team-based deathmatch mode with AI and no objectives. You just hop into a game and just shoot down enemy troops. The other is a mode called Onslaught, where you wipe out opposing troopers within a given time limit. No real surprises there, as if you played the arcade mode in the beta, then you played pretty much both these modes already. In the cracked arcade mode, we get to see mostly a complete arcade mode, with battle scenarios for both the light side and the dark side. Now granted, the light side only has one battle scenario listed here and it isn't even complete yet, but the dark side battle scenarios look to be all complete. All the battle scenarios are a mixture of either Team Battle or Onslaught. But now onto the fun part, the actual customization of arcade mode. In arcade, we will have access to only 6 maps: Tatooine, Yavin 4, Kamino, Naboo, Starkiller Base, and Takodana. That's actually one less than what we had available to us in skirmish mode in Battlefront 1, as we had about 7 maps available in Walker Assault, plus 5 for Fighter Squadron, all adding up to 12 maps in total for offline content, while in Battlefront 2, only 6 maps for offline. So I'm not exactly sure where all these other maps went to. Also keep in mind that all these maps are small scale maps, so they're not big or anything like that. It seems that the large scale maps will only be available in online multiplayer. In terms of trooper count, arcade mode limits players to only 10 troopers maximum per side, while 2 is the minimum. You can of course choose and modify the trooper difficulty, health, their classes, along with setting up team battles where it's only heroes versus heroes, much like the hero missions from Battlefront 1. As you may have also noticed, there's no mention of objective-oriented game modes like Galactic Assault or Starfighter Assault, or really anything that allows us to play as vehicles, so just a heads up for anyone who is looking forward to that in arcade mode. I also don't get the appeal or the point of battle scenarios here, as they're all just games that the player themselves can create in custom arcade. There's absolutely nothing here that makes the battle scenarios really stand out on their own. I can even go as far as to say the missions from Battlefront 1 were better, as there at least you got to play in vehicles, play through specific objective type games that ranged from basic to very unique, like the speeder bike chase on Endor, along with seeing fun short cutscenes. There was actually a point to playing those missions, at least just to experience them for one time. Now battle scenarios, I don't really see that happening here. Also, it should be noted that the Battlefront 1 beta menu was practically identical to the full game, so the chances of this being part of the full game are pretty high. Of course, having said that, perhaps down the road, DICE can introduce more arcade modes as DLC if they see the demand for it. And that's the key word here, demand. And the only way for them to see a demand is for offline player voices to be heard, which is exactly why videos like this need to be made and shown to as many people as possible. Otherwise, DICE may never realize what they need to improve on or even improve at all in arcade. Personally, I think arcade mode is moving in the right direction, and I'm happy to see all these kinds of customization options available to us, as we didn't have this kind of freedom in skirmish mode. And I definitely see a lot of potential here. But of course, at the same time, I also see DICE and Criterion missing out on that said potential by limiting the arcade mode to only 10v10, no vehicles or no space combat. Hopefully they take our feedback and implement these types of changes, as that will only make their customers happy, which is what every business should want. But as always, now that I've said my piece, I want to hear your take on all of this. What's your opinion on the current arcade mode? Do you also think that the battle scenarios could have at least been a little bit more unique and less generic? And do you also think that DICE will add more maps to arcade as well when new DLC hits the game? Or will we only be limited to 6 small-scale maps the entire time? Tell me that and everything else in the comments down below. But that'll do it for today. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, share, and subscribe to the channel to not only support it, but keep up with Star Wars news, gaming, and canon lore released every week. And consider following me on Twitter and Facebook to never miss out on the latest Star Wars related content. Thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.